Welcome to Business Casual. I am Mihae Ahn, your host and author of The Stories We Tell and Perfectly Incomplete. Business Casual brings you unfiltered conversations with badass, inspiring, highly accomplished women. I am passionate about and believe in the power of sharing stories, our authentic, raw, incomplete stories, getting beyond the polished LinkedIn profiles to the real humans behind the titles. My guest today is Agnes Lan. She is an entrepreneur, giver, and enabler. She founded her company Change Connect 14 years ago while she was on mat leave. She considers Change Connect her second child. Agnes is a true giver. I've known Agnes for close to 10 years. Every interaction with her has been like a warm blanket around me in a cold winter day. She's such a genuine person. Some key takeaways from our chat today include entrepreneurship journey can start small. Make conscious decision to pick which fight to fight, which playground to stay in or leave. True giving is not with an expectation to receive something in return. Today's conversation was so inspiring, like every other conversation with Agnes. Please enjoy. How are you?
Good, Mihae. What's up?
I'm doing good. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your time to chat with me for this episode. Really appreciate it.
Anything for you, babe. Anything.
Thank you. Yeah, you responded right away as usual and really respect and appreciate your promptness and willingness to help and give. So you know what? The first thing that I wanted to ask you is your giving mentality. We've known each other for a long time by now. How many years? I have been with Preserve IT for 9 years now.
Definitely
Just had
over, yeah.
a
About
9-year
9 years. I was gonna
anniversary.
say about 10 years.
Yeah, long time. Yeah. Have you always been a giver? And what has influenced you to just give?
Giver. I've actually never thought about myself that way, Mihae. That's
Um,
interesting. Yes, I think in that regard. I think partially it's because I'm the eldest in the family.
mm-hmm.
So I think naturally, as a byproduct of that, you have to take care of your siblings, you
Right.
have to really take control, um, and you naturally just have to give a little bit more of yourself and your time to get things done. So I've never looked at it as giving, but just part of the dynamics in the friendship. Like I'm a believer that relationship is a two-way street. Like you actually have to put effort into any relationship. It doesn't even have to be just friendship, but like, your marriage for sure. But like your relationship with your kids or your relationship with your parents or your relationship with your workmates, your relationship with a business partner. It is work. Like if take none of that for granted.
Yes. The Adam Grant's book, Give and Take, is it? He
Yes.
talks about in that book, right, how givers ultimately receive a lot, even though they, right, give at the end because how human relationships work. So I have always considered you as a giver. So thank you.
Aw, thanks. I've never thought of that way. Now I know. Now I can think of myself
Yeah,
in a
you're
different
one of
light.
the, for sure, one of the people that I know who is so willing to give. Quick intro, please. Who you are and what you do.
Okay, I run Change Connect. Change Connect is a sales consultancy that, is a sales consultancy that helps small, mid-sized business with their revenue generation goal in the area of strategy, people, process, and technology. I always say anything have to do with rev gen, we do. Things that doesn't have to do with rev gen, we try to stay away from. We keep our lanes from that perspective. Also a mother of one. Today is not a good day. Yesterday rolled his ankle and now he can't even walk, so I have to deal
No, I'm
with some
sorry.
of that today. But, yeah, keeping a really good balance between the work life and the family life.
Yes. How long have you been with Change Connect? You started Change Connect, right?
Yes, I started Change Connect out of mat leave. So Hugo's 15, so Change Connect is 14. So it's like two of my babies born
Yes.
side by side. Um,
Yes. Well, what
yeah,
inspires you to start Change Connect?
just an opportunity. I think grew up in a family of entrepreneurs. So my dad is a GC. So I grew up in a consulting or sorry, construction environment.
Yeah.
Um, and I've always wanted my own business. But you know, nothing like today. I was doing a talk for students around career, and nowadays we were doing some survey, and kids nowadays number one want to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
number two wants to be a YouTuber, and then number
Yes.
three wants to be an NBA basketball player. What they want to do now. Like, you know, long gone for the day. Remember when we were kids, Mihai, like we want to be a doctor, we want to be a lawyer, we want to be a
Lawyer.
nurse,
Yeah.
we want to be teachers, we want to be police. Nope. Entrepreneur, YouTuber, and NBA player.
Yes.
But when I think about the idea of entrepreneurship back when I was younger, like it isn't so accessible like it is today. So I never really figured out how I could start a business. Although I did start like a tutoring company and start outsourcing to different tutors when I was younger because I couldn't take all the hours. I guess that's like a baby introduction to entrepreneurship when I was a kid. But when you think about the resources the kids have today to start a new business, it is wild. Back in my days, we didn't have that.
Hmm.
But I did have an opportunity, like, you know, back to what you're saying, like your network is so important, the people you surround yourself with. I actually got a call during mat leave. The person on the other end says, hey, you know what? I have a multi-year ERP implementation here. I know you can do it. Why don't you put a team together? Come.
Amazing.
And I'm like, you know, I've always wanted to be in entrepreneurship. I was rolling out of mat leave,
Hmm.
asked my husband. My husband's like, you know what? I know you. You've always wanted to start your own company. Do it. Put a timeline on what success look like. Because he also knows me very well, right? He's like, I also know if I don't let you do it, I'll never hear the end of it. So, so, you know, we put a 2-year timeline on it, and then the rest is history.
Yes, many people want to be an entrepreneur, right? But not many people take the steps to start it. One can be the risk-taking aspect of it. You need to be able to take some risks to start your own business. Definitely comes with risks. And another is, I believe, at least for me, starting my own venture sounds very, I don't know, scary and a lot of risks. So yeah, I have big respect for those who take the actual step and make it happen.
Yeah, it is. But I think the young ones now look at it differently, though.
Mm,
I look at my son and how they and his friends approach thought of entrepreneurship,
mhm,
and it isn't the way that we look at it at all.
mm.
For them, I think starting a business definitely is, you know, in all due respect, a little easier today. And I now question, does it really have to be as complex as we
Right?
made it sound? Like,
That
you know,
is so true.
they, a lot of his friends come and talk to me about their business ideas. I seem to be like the mom that is easy to talk to
Yes.
and sort of have the time for them. So, because I only have one, other people have like many. So they would talk to me about the ideas and I'd be like, that's a good idea. This is why I think it's a good idea. Oh,
Hmm.
this is not a good idea. No, why isn't this a good idea? But to them though, it is, you know, it's an idea and then they'll find different way to execute it.
Hmm.
Um, and it isn't like before we're like, oh my God, like we have to stock. They something as simple as, phone cases, right? Oh my God, I have to stock like thousands and thousands of dollars of phone cases, and then where would I sell it? Like something as simple as that. Today, they just do it. They're like, okay, I will broker 10Ks to start, and then based on that, see how it goes, and then come back, and then I'll sell some more.
Right.
Or we actually do a lot of pay it forward hours with startup companies or teenage starter companies through the cities.
Mm-hmm.
And the kids are, looking at their talent. Like I remember talking to someone that was in, I think, junior A hockey, and he wants to coach young kids. And then I was speaking to someone that actually was really strong and have a swimming pool in their backyard, and they want to teach kids how to swim in the summer,
Yeah.
right? So to them, there is no barrier to start. To them, it's like, okay, this is my idea. I'm just gonna do it, and I love that. I
Mm-hmm.
love how time have changed.
Yes. I love the what you said there. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be big. You can start really small with an idea. I love that. Making a note here.
Learning from the kids every day, trust me.
Right?
They
Yes.
come to me, they're like, Agnes, I have an idea. I want to make a viral video and sell hockey sticks and sell. And then I was like, great idea.
Yeah.
But first of all, it cannot be a one-time wonder. And then, so what else are you going to sell after that? And then at number two, can you tell me how you plan to make that viral video? Because I want to know too. But I love it. What the key is, when I was younger, we give ourselves all these excuses. Nowadays, the trend I see with the kids are like, you know what? No excuses. I can do it. Let's jump. Let's do it. Oh well, if it doesn't work out, let's do something else.
Yeah.
Love it.
Agnes, what would be you have many achievements, the one that you are most proud of so far?
I think building a business for sure.
Yeah.
You'll see me talk about my second baby quite a bit. And I think a team that I truly trust.
Mm.
Because I'm not just proud of what I have done. I think that's actually, I'm an enabler to making other people better. I always say that, in whatever circumstance, whether it's client, whether it's staff, whether it's my network, I want to leave them in a better place after they met me.
Yeah.
So how can I go about enriching other people's lives without my own agenda? Like my intern hears about this all the time. Well, it's not what they can do for me, it's what I can do for them. Like I'm part of their life journey. And after 4 months, 8 months, 12 months, 16 months, whatever that term is, well, how can I help you? Because you're gonna be better than me. You're gonna achieve greater things than me. I just want to be part of that journey to help you get there. So what can I do?
Oh, Agnes,
Right?
that makes me like cry.
But it is like you're just a part of everyone else's journey, right? How are you going to make an impact, and how are you going to show up for other people? It's what defines life's purpose. Like,
Mm.
because it is, I just find that so important. Like, everyone here knows that. Like, what is it that you want to learn? Like, how do you, I mean, if it's, I have some guy that says like something completely different than our product lines, and I was like, I don't know how to help you with that.
Yeah.
But within my power, right?
Mhm.
Absolutely, right? You want to watch them grow. You actually want to watch them outgrow their role, step
Yes.
into leadership, and sometimes, surpass. Like, you know what? All the time, I want you to surpass me. I
Yes.
think that's
Outgrow
like
you,
the
right?
real
Yeah.
achievement. Yeah, absolutely. Like when I have some of my guys, I'm like, there's nothing I can offer you. Like, I think it's time to move on. I'd
Yeah.
love to keep you. I'm like, if I
Yeah.
invested 8 hours in 8 years in your growth, I want you to stay so I
Yeah.
can reap the benefit. But if you need to move on because you're no longer learning, absolutely agree. Right?
Was there any moment throughout your journey with Change Connect where you felt like out of depth? It is beyond me. How am I gonna go through this?
You know what? That's probably every week. Entrepreneurship, for me anyways, maybe I'm just not the brightest one in the box, sharpest pencil in the box. But if you think about entrepreneurship, it's a constant stretch. If you're actually in a very comfortable place, I actually find that very unsettling.
Right.
So whether it's pivoting, we just did a new business model, we just did a new promotion, like whether it's pivoting a business model or, especially in my industry, like entering a room where I'm the only woman in the
Mhm,
room, like I have learned not to panic. I don't also need all the answers, right?
mhm.
I just need to know how to ask the right questions, stay grounded, and then I'll just figure it out as I go, right? I trust that I have enough skills that I can navigate the problem, but I don't trust that I know all the answers.
Yes. Speaking of only woman in the room, any experience that you were in the situation where it was definitely difficult, challenging, but you figured out some ways to cope with that and grow from that?
Actually, I have a story to tell you here, and this happens all the time too. My first day of MBA, I went to an international MBA. Younger than, of course, much younger than. And Mihae, you know me, I'm not the tallest person in the room. I'm also very short.
Same here.
Um, you know, Asian,
Yeah.
short girl back then. I walked into a room and I'm very, I grew up in Canada and Toronto. So I remember doing a brainstorming session. Again, for the first week of MBA, there's this, whatever, multi-day
Yes.
orientation course, whatever. So I still remember this day, like, it's crazy. So I walked in, we were put in groups, we were doing this brainstorming session, and like a true American girl,
Uh-huh.
when we brainstorm, I was like saying all these things.
Mhm,
Are not smart, right?
mhm.
But we were taught brainstorming is just, you know, jamming ideas on paper because you never know when one idea can spark another good one.
Very true.
So you're supposed to brainstorm and you're supposed to say, sometimes not so intelligent things. But I remember this guy,
Mhm.
this Korean guy, older. He's definitely. If you think I'm the youngest in the room, one of the youngest in the room, he'll probably be one of the oldest in the room. This Korean man, I guess he was biting his tongue the entire time while I was trying to be very American. At the end of like a 30-minute session, like he just had to let it go. He's like, Agnes, you have to stop talking.
Okay.
He's like, you're not supposed to talk so much as a woman.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, those whatever, those multi-days thing, they put you in a hotel, and I was devastated that night.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Devastated. I was in a hotel. I was like so angry. And I was like, what the heck did I just got myself into here? I went to talk to the Appa, and I was like, this is how we do it in North America. And he's like, oh, okay, this is not how we do it in Asia. Oh, and then we had a good conversation
Mm,
around the differences.
mhm.
Mind you, it's not overnight. Like the perspective of how you see other people is built over time. So I can tell you, you know, by the end of the program, we were best buddies.
Oh,
And
wow.
then now fast forward it, 20 years into, finishing my MBA, we're still in contact. Like he's now my big brother.
Oh.
So I think a big part of that, I think we were talking about how we're the different, like some stuff you can navigate through for sure,
Mhm.
right? By communication. I think a big part of it is communicating with each other. The ability to articulate becomes so important.
Yes.
But some situation you have to be smart enough to know that's just not your playground.
How did you decide to go and talk to him though? Because
Hmm.
easy thing to do is, you know what, that guy is not my person, right? That was not the right thing to say, and I don't want to associate with this person. That's easy path. But you decided to talk to him, and now you have still to these days you are. So how did you do that?
You know what? I think a big part of it is also my personality.
Mm-hmm.
But a big part of it is also the fact that I'm realistic. Like he's put in my group, so I have to work with him for the rest of the week. So, there's only 5 of you in that group.
Yes.
So, and after a good night of, trying to figure out and crying and then, really what the hell, this is day one of MBA. Is the rest of MBA going to be like this? I realized that we just have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. Our friendship is so awesome and blossomed. Like, I don't think it would have been this way if I didn't take that first step to sort of work out our cultural differences.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think he's a mean person. Like, but there is definitely cultural differences, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, for sure. But I am someone that like to talk things out. I am someone that like to get things straight. I'm someone that, you know, the answer could be a no or a yes. But I do want to know that it was a conscious decision
Mm-hmm.
rather than one where, well, it's just because it's a lack of communication, pushed to a corner and just, hide it under some dust. It's
Yeah.
it's just not my style.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I'm learning more and more and training myself, right? Instead of reacting right away to anything that is happening around me, but taking the time to process first and then think about what would be the best course of actions for me and for others. Because that lack of understanding and lack of communication tend to be those sorts of
Yes.
problems, challenges.
But I think a little part of that sometimes is also knowing which fight to pick. Like some
Very true.
people, Mihae, not worth it. Or some situation, no matter what you do, you won't win.
Mhm.
So, you also have to make that's where the conscious decision comes from, right?
Yeah.
I'm making conscious decision to let this one go. Or
Mhm.
I'm making conscious decision to know that I won't win in this arena. I'll find another arena. I
Yes.
always say like to my staff, right? There's so many different ways to make money. Like we don't ever have to pick a way that we're uncomfortable or it makes us feel vulnerable or belittled or lack of respect. We walk away. Like
Mhm.
we're adults. Like we're not kids.
Yes. The things that I have been thinking a lot about these days is the gray. Life is rarely black and white, right? What we're talking about here, too, is it is not always clear which fight is worth fighting, which fight is not worth fighting. It
Yes, it
tends
is
to be very
true.
gray. So yeah, navigating the through and making conscious decisions, that is just part of life and will continue to be part of life. Yes. Who has been your biggest influence so far and why?
Uh, I knew you were gonna ask this question, so I actually thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think in some way it might be surprising, in some way that it might not be. I think the person that inspired me and influenced me the most in life is probably my mom.
Yes.
And interesting enough, it's not like she has a huge LinkedIn profile, lots of followers, lots of leadership experience. She's a homemaker. And but I think she's also taught me and have been an example of resilience, um, and persistence, to be fair, and patience. Um, like for us to have a better life. My parents immigrated here from Hong Kong, not a word of English, work tirelessly to give us what we need, and never ask us for credit. Like it is, if you think about the first generation immigrant life coming here, no connection. I can't imagine like how much they give up, what a comfortable life that they have to give up to sacrifice for their children. She's actually the one that taught me to show up,
Mhm.
not just when it's convenient for you, but
Yeah.
when it matters. Like showing up for other people, honestly, is never convenient for yourself.
Yeah.
But you have to make it. Like if you want to be a part of someone's life, if you want to contribute to other people's success, if you want to make the world a better place for someone else, it's never convenient, but you have to make a choice to do what matters.
Ah, Mother's Day just around the corner. We're
I
talking
know,
about
but she's
mom.
not here actually. She's a snowbird. She is so adorable. There was one year I was very overwhelmed with joy. We're a Chinese family. We don't tell people, like, we don't tell our parents we love them and they don't give me hugs. That's
Yeah.
how it works here. And I was so overwhelmed with my love for my mom. Like, called her and I was like, Mom, I miss you and I love you. And then she, like, normal Asian mom, right? Didn't show that she appreciated, didn't show anything. And then I said what I need to say, so I'm happy. So,
Yeah.
so then she told my dad. So my dad called me, and then my dad's like, I don't know what you did today, but whatever you did today, you have to do more.
Oh,
She's like, I haven't seen your mom so happy.
yeah.
Do more of that. Okay. So sometimes um, it is, you have to show the people that you love
Hmm.
them, right? And it's not extravagant gifts or like, thoughtful, big, like 99 rose gestures, right? Sometimes it is just showing up and telling them, you appreciate them, you love them, you are there for them no matter what.
Yes. Small things matter, right?
Absolutely.
What you said there, you did what you wanted to do. You wanted to tell her you love her, and so you were happy. I love that. The true giving is not because you want something in exchange, right? Not with that expectation. If I do this, I'm gonna get this, but just because you want to do it, you do it. Yeah, again, you are a giver. Um, that
I have
is.
a good relationship with my mom. Like, truthfully,
Mm-hmm.
when I saw that question, the whole who influenced you, because I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I thought about like telling you, big writers, big economists, but when it came down to it, it's the people that give you true value to where you anchored. Like, it doesn't mean I don't take influence from the economists, the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's my mom.
Yes, yeah. Very true, right? I feel this huge responsibility raising a daughter, right? She's, as you know, turning 7 soon in a few weeks. Because, like you, the influence that my parent had in me, that's not comparable to anyone else, anything else. It's so, yeah, I feel the huge responsibility. How
And
I show up every day, how I navigate through life, this matters to um, her a lot. So
yes,
trying to be more mindful every day.
yes. But funny enough, on the kids note, my kid's now 15. It's also time to also, I'm trying to learn that lesson, the last couple of weeks too, is you have to at some point also trust that you give them enough good value that they are making good decisions. Like,
Yes.
I'm trying to learn to let go a little bit more too, because I find I can't cram his decision making. Like, if he's doing something because his mom asked him to do something, it's actually less character building
Mm-hmm.
than if he decided to do something.
Right.
Like, he ended up playing basketball yesterday and rolled his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also hockey tryout week. So now he realized when he came home that he's in a very bad situation at the
Mhm.
moment. But I've also learned not to stress out. Like,
Mhm.
because I find he made decision. Like, we were all about, my husband was all about, well, let's talk to him. Let's tell him his lesson that he learned, right? Because it's a big lesson that he learned yesterday,
Mhm.
right? He should have never went out to play basketball. He should have never, like, a sequence of events that leads up to
Right.
certain events, right? You need to prepare accordingly. But I'm actually trying to look at it as, you know what? Good. He needed to learn the lesson
Mhm.
somehow. He learned it here. It's not life or death, right?
Mhm.
So let him learn, let him internalize that message accordingly. I have to stop letting go. Like, my husband's like, well, maybe we should have told him never to go play basketball. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I think he has to own up to the fact that he went to play
Yeah.
basketball and roll his ankle,
Yeah.
right? And then next time he'll learn not to do something else, right? This time it's not life or death. I was telling my friends yesterday about this. I'm like, he's also 16 next year. Like, he's gonna have a car. So if he makes bad decisions, it's life or death. So
Yeah.
I would rather that he learned his lessons along the way,
Mhm.
and you just have to trust that
Yeah.
you have instilled enough good value in them
Mhm.
that they know what they're doing.
Yes. Yeah, very, very true. That is another non-black and white thing, right? As a parent, when to jump right in and help them, when to let them make the decisions and deal with and manage and learn from the consequences of their decisions. That is also not black and white.
No, it never is. Because as a parent, you want to jump in and help,
Yeah.
right? And, I find that, at least for me, this year, especially this year and a bit, have been all about letting go. Like, I know I instill good
Yes.
value in him. He's a great kid. And sometimes he just have to make some mistake to own up some mistakes, right?
Yes, certainly. What is a misconception people often have about you and your journey, if there is any?
Misconceptions. I would say that I think people think I'm a solo climb. You know, I don't have a business partner. Everyone knows I'm a workaholic. So I think people think that I did it alone.
Mm,
And I can tell you I didn't.
mhm.
Um, you know, I have been so fortunate, so fortunate that I've surrounded myself with some really good people, like from mentors to team members to partners to you. Um, like every day, like, you're telling me that I'm a giver, but like, I am ever so grateful every day when I have an issue or when I have a question or when I have anything. I reach out, and I would say 99% of the time I get good feedback. Like, people are just as willing to help me
Yeah.
along my journey or talk me down from a ledge or being just resourceful around me. Mind you, I'm also not afraid to ask. Like, I I'm not timid, although I'm an introvert. I know when I need help. So I think the misconception is that, like, there's so many people that contribute to my success. I think the people I surround myself with has always been my greatest asset. Like you.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. We none of us can do life alone, right? It is so important to choose who we surround ourselves with.
Yes.
Yeah, and who to not.
Yes. Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't dwell over people that's not worth my time. I have this ever since university, I have this 3-minute rule.
Mm.
Unless it comes to my son. But I have this 3-minute rule where no one can get me upset for more than 3 minutes.
Oh,
I'll count down to the 3 minutes and then I'll say, that's it. Because partially is not worth it. Like it's your time. Because I also found very early on, if you're upset at somebody, you are the one that's upset at somebody. It's
yes.
your brain power, it's your energy, it's your emotions that is sort of, you are the one that you're affecting, not someone else. So I've always had this 3 minutes rule. Yep, get as upset as you can in the next 3 minutes. But
Yeah.
after that, then it's not worth it. Then you have to move on. So yeah, it's something I actually do live by. I mean, Hugo's another story. He knows what button to push. But so there's many, many 3 minutes.
Yes.
But in general, like if I had a bad call with a client that they're disrespectful, whatever. Or if you meet somebody, because you get it pretty often, as less now that I'm older, but you get that disrespect as a short Asian woman pretty often.
Oh,
Like, you don't know what you're talking about.
tell me about it.
What do you know, little girl? So, roll it off. Okay, that's fine. I don't want, this is great. I don't want to associate with you either.
Yes.
You're not my vibe. Do anything here. You have to choose to spend time with people that's worth it for you too.
Yes. Thank you. I am learning a lot from you without you knowing. I'm sure right. Just you being you and interacting with you. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot today through this conversation. Really appreciate you, Agnes. Truly. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you so much, Mihei, for asking me to do this. This is so wonderful. Um, we've always been friends, so it was an easy yes, Mihei.
Thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to catching up with you again. Maybe next time
Absolutely.
in person.
Uh, yes, we haven't seen each other in a while.
In
Yes.
person for a long time. Yes. Thank you, Agnes.
All right.
See you
Thanks
later.
so much. Talk to you soon.
Bye. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember you have more agency than you often realize. Choose your stories. I'll see you next time.